been so long since I vlogged. I don't even remember how to start these things.
That's how we're kicking it off. What's up, guys? Welcome to the vlog.
Guys, it is, what does the date say? Saturday, May 5th.
Oh, you don't know?
May 5th.
May the 4th be with you for everyone who gets that reference.
Steph and I are just grabbing a pre-workout meal over here right now. Steph is cooking for me. What I want to do today is I want to take you guys through one of my upper body workouts, just the workout that I'm going through today. I'm going to put the Technique Tuesday series on pause for like 3 or 4 weeks, just because I want to take you guys through some of these workouts because my training is going super well at the moment. I'm absolutely loving this new training program. So what I'm doing right now, while Steph gets my pre-workout meal ready over here, which I'll show you guys in a minute, is I'm basically going through the program. I'm gonna write everything out in my notebook, so that's what I've been doing so far for the new upper lower split, writing all the workouts out. And I know that that seems old school, and most people, or a lot of people, like to use an app, and that's totally fine for this. I personally like, so I'll bring up the program on my phone, and then I'll write out the workout, and then write in the weights that I use and the RPEs as I go through. And for me, I like that because it ahead of time kind of locks into my mind what I have planned for that day and prepares me for the workload. So I can kind of like visualize myself going through the workout before I actually do it. You could do that without writing it down, but there's like something special about writing it down in my head anyway. So that's what I'm gonna do here now. So day 6 of week 2 that I'm on. And if you guys bought the program the first day it was out, so if you started it the next day, you should be on the same day as me at this point. I'm not gonna skip any days in this program. That's one of the benefits of having a set training program that you can follow, is you're so much less likely to actually skip on a training day. And I was saying this to Steph yesterday, like under almost any other circumstance, I probably would have taken a rest day yesterday because it was my 3rd leg day of that week. And I was feeling really sore. I had so much stuff to do, but still went in there, got the workout done, and it ended up being totally fine. So anyway, I'm gonna write this all out, show you guys how it is that I take my notes, and we're gonna get after it. So this is basically how I write it out. I just write all the exercises down the side, here are the reps, and then when I get in the gym, I'll fill in the weight that I use and the last set RPE. If there's a percentage-based weight prescription, I'll fill that in before I go. So actually, for the barbell incline press, it's 65% 1 rep max. So I'll actually calculate that and write the weight in there before I go in, so I know exactly what I have to do, and then I'll adjust the weight based on how the RPE of the first set feels. But yeah, I've got that all written out, ready to kill it. How's the meal coming? Done. Good timing. Oh wow, look at that, check that out.
Because the marinade sauce is not much, so I feel like you need something else, like hot sauce or sriracha or something.
I'll check it out. So these are my new obsession over here. So these are just mussels. And Steph and I went on a trip to Costa Rica with my family, and they had so much seafood there, and I ate so many mussels and realized how much I love them. But they're also extremely nutritious. So they're super high, I wouldn't say they're super high, they're pretty high in zinc, especially per calorie, which is good because I don't eat a lot of red meat, and zinc is crucial for testosterone production. So that's been a great side effect of these. Also, they're really high in vitamin C and magnesium. So, and omega-3 fats. So just a really healthy food. So if you like mussels, that's something you can consider adding into your diet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you remember when you used to always appear on my channel before the Science Explained videos?
I'm never on your channel anymore. People probably wonder if we're still dating.
They need your channel
here
for that. They need your cheat days for that.
Yeah.
What, the mussels?
Yeah, I feel like the marinade was kind of weak.
It's
It's not a sauce.
Let's see. Mmm. No, those are delicious.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
The seasoning on them is amazing.
Oh, okay.
Wow. I'll show you guys in case you're wondering. We just got these at Publix. They're like pre-cooked, I think, right? You just have to...
They froze them live, so when you cook them, they open, and it was marinated all together.
I'll put the box up here on the screen so you guys can check them out. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, tropical twist. And it has kind of like a lemonade flavor to it. I've been using the kiwi lime flavor for the last, I don't know, 6 months or however long it's been since it launched. But this is actually a really nice change up, and it has a very citrusy flavor, so perfect for summer. Been loving this. And also, one thing I forgot to mention when I was showing you guys my training manual was my little notation system for the RPE. So what I'll do over here on the side is just use these little arrows. I've been using these forever to indicate to myself how the weight felt the week before. For example, if I finish that last set of squats on leg day and I have an up arrow here, it basically means that the next week I should increase the weight because it actually felt a little bit too easy. So the RPE was a little bit too low. That's actually a super useful tool. If you guys aren't giving yourself that feedback, you will forget what it felt like the week before, and you'll probably just use the same weight again or just add a little bit. So letting yourself know that is actually super helpful. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna finish my pre-workout. I'm gonna check in with you guys over at the gym, and I'm gonna run a voiceover over the workout of my top 4 strategies for improving weak points, whatever that is for you, and how I'm doing that on this program. So I'll check in with you guys over there. All right, what's going on, everyone? So like I said, Steph and I are gonna be hitting a full upper body workout today for my new upper lower size and strength program, which Steph has been running with me for the last couple weeks. And I'll put the link to that full program and this upper body workout that we're running in the description box as well. So what I wanna talk about in this voiceover are my top 4 strategies for bringing up weak points that can apply to any body part and for both men and women. And the first strategy is to increase the training frequency for that weak body part. Now, higher frequency is gonna allow you to squeeze in more weekly volume for that body part without having to worry about so-called wasted sets. So basically, at a certain point, there's gonna be a limit to how much benefit you're gonna get to adding more sets in one single workout. And this is true for just programming in general, not just weak points. So let's say you want to grow your glutes. Rather than putting all 20 sets on one day, it'd make a lot more sense to split that volume up across at least 2, 3, or 4 workouts. So you still hit the same weekly volume, but with less volume in one single session. Because remember that the whole point of training is to increase muscle protein synthesis and amino acid sensitivity, and just blasting a muscle with more and more volume in a single session isn't going to do anything extra toward those ends past a certain point of training volume. Now, with that said, there's also a limit to how often you want to hit one specific body part in a week. Hitting a muscle too frequently can then interfere with the recovery of other body parts or create too much systemic fatigue. So as a general rule, the smaller the muscle, the more frequency you can get away with. So if your weak point is a smaller muscle like the side delts, biceps, triceps, abs, or calves, I think you can hit them up to 5 or 6 times a week, since they're gonna recover a lot faster, as long as you're not obliterating them in those sessions. And for bigger muscle groups like the quads, glutes, chest, lats, and traps, I'd usually cap the weekly frequency at 3 or 4 sessions per week, just because since there is more total muscle mass and often multiple joints involved, training those muscles more frequently tends to come at a greater recovery burden. But that isn't to say you can't hit, say, the glutes or the chest 5 times per week. It's just that at a certain point, you're only gonna see diminishing returns plus an increased risk of injury or potential overtraining risk. And of course, as you increase the frequency, it's really important to monitor your total weekly training volume for that body part so it doesn't get carried away. And for weak points, I generally recommend something in the ballpark of 20 to 25 total weekly sets, including any compound exercises. And you'll want to space that out across 3 to 6 sessions, again, depending on the body part and your level of advancement. So some folks can go higher. And another quick note on increasing frequency, let's just use the shoulders as an example. You're going to want to be careful with how much you use compound exercises. I'd recommend doing a compound lift like an overhead press or a dumbbell press no more than 2, maybe 3 times per week, and then just fill in the rest of your frequency with isolation exercises like lateral raises. So when bumping up the frequency for a weak point, you need to use common sense with your exercise selection and focus on using isolation exercises, and focus on using exercises which you can cram in more frequently with less of a recovery burden than, say, big, heavy compound exercises. Now, obviously, you're still going to want to include the compound exercises. You just need to be more careful with high frequencies on those, since they, by definition, target multiple muscles, making them less useful for weak point prioritization. Okay, my second strategy is to pay careful attention to the exercise order and train your weak body part in a way that makes sense to give it priority. Now, while research and experience tells us that if you train any body part early in a workout,
it'll be stronger than if you train it later in the workout. Still, isolating a weak point first doesn't always make the most sense, because if it's a smaller muscle, it can interfere with other body parts and impede your workout as a whole. So for example, let's say you have lagging biceps, training them first would make sense on one hand, because you'll be stronger and have more energy to dedicate to them, but that also means that they're going to be fatigued for any back work that you have planned that day, and might limit the amount of total weight that you can use for your back training, which isn't ideal. Now, research on pre-exhaustion tells us that this is one area where the bros got it totally wrong. So let's just say that your quads are a weak point. Fatiguing your quads before a set of leg press by doing leg extensions will actually cause your quads to be less active on the leg press and just cause other muscles to take over. So it's totally counterproductive to pre-exhaust the weak body part. Now, it's important to note that this is different than so-called pre-activation, where you're not fatiguing the muscle, you're just warming it up and establishing a strong mind-muscle connection with it, and this actually is helpful. So if you want to target your glutes more in squats, doing a few banded lateral walks or light glute bridges will help get your glutes more involved, but burning the glutes out with some high rep kickbacks before squats is only going to make the quads and hamstrings take over more. So here's my general rule. You should always prioritize the compound exercise first, but consider doing a few light pre-activation isolation sets for the weak point before hitting the main compound lift. Also, since you will be stronger and have more energy at the beginning of a workout, as a general rule, try to place the exercises that are going to target your weak point earlier on in the session. So for example, if your back is your weak point, do your pulling work before your pushing work on upper body days, or vice versa. And then you can use isolation work at the end to give extra emphasis to the specific weak point that you're trying to target, and then also consider adding in extra isolation work on other days, as we discussed in the first strategy on frequency. Okay, strategy number 3 is to improve the mind-muscle connection. Now, I've discussed the mind-muscle connection at length in another video, so I'll link that down below. But basically, I just want to say here that when you're doing isolation exercises to specifically target a weak body part, you should do everything in your power to focus on really feeling that muscle squeeze and stretch as you complete the reps. And you can consider doing the exercise with your eyes closed to really focus internally on the muscle, or you can mark each rep verbally out loud or in your head by saying squeeze and stretch as you complete the positive and negative of each rep. Now, whatever it is that's going to get you to intentionally focus on using the target muscle is going to help increase its activation. And my fourth and final strategy for improving weak points is to make use of specialized intensity techniques. Now, I'm planning to go through all the relevant techniques here in a separate Advanced Technique Tuesday series, where I'm going to cover static holds, dropped sets, forced reps, and everything in between. And I think that they can all have a place in a training program. Some people in the science-based crowd might argue that these techniques can reduce overall volume by causing unnecessary fatigue. However, I would argue that as long as they're being used on isolation exercises sparingly and at or near the end of a training session, that shouldn't be too much of a concern. And I think that if you have a lagging body part and it hasn't been growing using just traditional training methods, then it makes perfect sense to start hitting it with some of these specialized techniques, such as dropped sets or accentuated eccentrics, just to make sure that the muscle is being stimulated as much as possible. Now, obviously, many gym bros might overdo this by just blasting every muscle with drop sets and supersets on every set. And then, of course, this can impede your ability to hit the body part at a higher frequency, which I think is more important. But still, I think not using these methods at all is a surefire way to leave some gains on the table. And here you can see I'm using Steph to provide added manual resistance on the eccentric only for each rep of the bicep curl. And we're doing these at the end of an upper body workout, which I think is going to tax my biceps in a way that just doing a simple, say, 3 sets of 15 standard reps where you just go through the motions wouldn't. So anyways, guys, those are my 4 tips. Other than that, you just really need to be patient and not give up. Growing weak points does take time, but if you're persistent and keep the training both fun and progressive, over time, your weak points will grow if you just keep at it. So that's it for this voiceover. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you found that to be helpful. Check out my full upper-lower training program in the description below, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the vlog. Oh yeah, back in Florida. I see it. Boom. Post-workout. Bam. Shout out to Christian, man. It's so crazy seeing this stuff in the store, bro. It's so cool. Gonna get a crate? Are you?
Getting all of them.
Stephanie Buttermore style. Eating in my car.
This is so reminiscent of, remember that vlog I was in with you?
Yeah. It's so funny.
And
it's the same car.
And you didn't even love.
No, I didn't. I gave it like a 5 out of 10, and I was trying to be nice because we had just met then too. I didn't, it was all right. Now I freaking love them. Now they're a 9.5 out of 10. That's the biggest glow up of a sub ever.
It's because I told you what bread to get.
Yeah, I think you did modify my order over time.
Mm-hmm.
You want to open that while I hold the camera?
Oh, I'm good at revealing food. That's what I do.
Check it. Check it. Check it. Publix sub.
Wait. Can you turn it over?
Is unstoppable.
Look at that.
So we got, you want to explain to him, Steph? I don't even know what it is. She orders it for me.
Yeah, it has turkey, white American, spinach, pickles, lettuce. He likes lettuce and spinach. That's health right there. And salt and pepper and a little bit of mayonnaise.
Taste test 2 years later. Who would have thought this is like my favorite food now?
It's gonna be 3 years.
Isn't that hilarious?
This
3
summer.
years?
Well, like, wasn't it in...
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I guess it was. It was 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been through lifetimes together though. Feels like it's been an eternity. Been around the world together.
I would be the worst foodie.
So you have to hide the background so it focuses what's in the forefront.
It's just science, man.
That's a high quality sandwich right there.
Anyway, it's the type of thing that grows on you. So initially it's not, you know, mind-bogglingly good, but over time.
It's that bread.
Oh, it's just...
Anyone from Florida knows.
Yeah, if you come to Florida, you got to get it. And the crispy chicken finger sub is a classic as well, but it's really high calorie.
World renowned.
All right, let's get on the road.
Okay.
All right, I got to check and see if the Raptors are playing tonight. Damn, they actually don't play till tomorrow night. How? Explain that to me. So Steph and I have been watching this Cat Williams stand-up special, and it's so hilarious because he spends the first 15 or 20 minutes just making fun of Jacksonville, which is basically where we are now, and it's so good. If you're from Florida even, you should definitely check it out. It's from, I think, 2018, but we just started watching it. So funny. Definitely recommend that. He's such a legend in stand-up, but this special is so good. The whole, like, start to finish, I really enjoyed this. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be a wrap for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a thumbs up. Stay tuned for this Saturday. I may have another vlog on the way. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new, and subscribe to Steph's channel over here. She's got a good channel too. And I'll see you guys in the next video.